Hi, and welcome to Talks with Shay. So today I would like to begin with reading from Matthew chapter 6 and verse 34. And it says, "Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought of the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." So today is a new month and we will be talking about our future. So for part one of our future, I would like to talk to you about stress. So today we are speaking with Zoe. Hi, Zoe.
Hi.
So, as it is a new month and we are talking about our future. For part one of our future, we're going to be talking about stress. So, I wanted to bring in a young person to talk with us about being stressed. Now, Zoe, how old are you?
13.
13 years old. How many of y'all remember being 13? Oh my God, I do. Those were my crazy years, Zoe. So when I think about stress, y'all, I think of sometimes children deal with a lot of stress, and sometimes parents don't always recognize their children are being stressed out, or children are afraid to go talk to their parents when they're stressed out. They might find a friend or whatever. Can you recall a time when you were stressed out?
Yeah, I can't recall many times when I've been stressed out. The main one that I've been stressed out is like taking a test, a really hard test. And I've been studying all night, and it's like one of those moments where like, oh my gosh, am I gonna fail the test, or am I like gonna pass by the skin of my teeth? Like
Yes.
it's one of those moments like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So what do you do when you're feeling stressed?
Like sometimes I go listen to music, sometimes I just lay down, count to 3 or like something like that, know.
Y'all, I know. I remember school days and being stressed about a test. Sometimes I used to cry my little eyes out. I remember they used to say, there was an old saying a long time ago. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but they would say, put your notes, study notes, like under your pillow. So say it's supposed to sink into your brain. That didn't work, y'all. But would you say that it's easy for you to talk to people when you're stressed out, whether it's what's easier for you to talk to your parents or friends?
Mainly to your friends, because like you talk to them during school and they would probably more know about the test than your parents. Because sometimes your parents, they're like study, like as long as you study, but sometimes you study hard and it's like, you don't get it.
Right. So do you make honor roll?
No, I don't.
No, but you're passing.
Yeah, I'm passing.
That's good. I remember studying for tests was always hard for me. I know like opening a book and having a study, I have to hear it repetitious to be able to remember it. But when I think about us as adults, we go through different stressful situations, and some people handle it in healthy ways. Other people don't always handle stress in a healthy way, And when I think about teenagers being in stressful situations, because it's more than just taking tests, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have friendships that can cause strain on you, with different friends and things like that. Have you ever been in a situation with friends stressed you out?
Yeah, like they would talk about things and you can't really relate to them, and you're trying to think of a moment that you can relate to them, and like they're waiting for a response, and so it's like really stressful,
Yeah. And do you end up saying it, or do you keep it to yourself?
Sometimes I end up saying it, sometimes it's like it doesn't really relate to what they're talking about, so I sometimes just keep it to myself.
Yeah. That's good advice. Maybe sometimes we need to keep some things to ourselves, y'all. I know sometimes it can be hard, because I know for me, I'm an honest person, outspoken, and I try to be, genuine with a person. But I always tell people, if they don't want the truth, don't ask me, because I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. Now, sometimes we got to figure out how we're going to say it,
Yeah.
but because a lot of times it's in delivery. I think of, do you exercise any?
I exercise.
You exercise, do you find it helps with stress?
Sometimes, like if you find that one move that helps you, then yeah,
It works. We got to find us some moves that work, y'all, so we can de-stress our lives. I think of even as adults, sometimes we look at children and we say, they're not stressing and they're not worried about this. But you know what? I know from me speaking, when I was your age, it was a lot of stress that I went through. I was in a broken family. My mom and dad were not together. So that in itself is a stressor for children. I think of when mom got remarried, then my dad got remarried. It was another stressor, and then it's like we as children, sometimes I feel like adults or parents feel like maybe they'll be okay, and sometimes they're not okay. And so it's up to us as adults and parents to recognize that our children, how their moods are, and wondering if they're stressed out. Do you ever have somebody, let me say it like this, is there a time, like, how can your parents know when you're stressed? What that looks like?
Like if I'm just like not talking to them, or like I have an attitude sometimes, that's the one thing that they're like, yeah, she's probably in a bad mood, she's stressed about something. Or like, I like sometimes if I'm stressed, like really stressed, I go and eat something, and like that just helps.
Comfort food.
Yeah.
And we end up putting on some little weight, okay? I'm guilty of that. Yes, you're eating. Actually, my therapist actually told me the reason why, and I'm going to paraphrase how she said it, but eating actually does help de-stress you, because it's something that it does something with something. But whatever it was, she was like, that's why a lot of times it's considered comfort food for people to eat, because there's certain things with the chewing that it does that helps do some kind of calming, y'all. I know I said a lot of stuff, but she said that's why we do it. It helps with us. But I know, like, I think of myself, like I was saying, growing up in a blended home sometimes can be hard for children, and I'm sure you have friends maybe at school that have been through that, and you probably had to see them stressed about that and stuff like that. Do you feel that it affects you as well?
Yes, because seeing them stress out, and also you having your own stress, it kind of like makes it a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing them stressed out just makes you worried on top of being stressed.
Yeah. See, and if you think about it, that's how us adults are with our friends and our lives. When our friends are stressed, we're stressed, because people we love and care for, when they're stressed, it does reflect back on us and how we feel towards them. And I think that as adults, if nothing else that we talked about today, if we as adults can recognize when children are stressed, ask your child or children you're caring for, your grandchildren or whatever, to be mindful of them being stressed out, to be able to help them and see, if your mom would have come or dad would come up to you and be like, you're stressed, is there anything I can do? Do you say yes or do you say no? Like,
I would say yes, I'm stressed, because I wouldn't want that stress to like linger, because sometimes that can affect you personally with the choices that you make. So I would say yes, I am stressed, I need some help, like, and if it would be something like, I don't know, like my friend something, and then like that stress is coming on me, I'll be like, yes, I'm stressed, and then I would like say, let's talk about it or something.
Well, good for you. Well, listen to that. We need to take that advice, y'all, that when we're stressed, learning to communicate with people properly to get the help that we need, because we all have bad days, right? And so we all deal with different stressors different ways, but being open and honest with your parents about it is amazing. And even as adults, we have other adults that we can lean on sometimes and ask them to help us or pray for us or do things like that to help us to get through where we're heading. And so I think that's some good advice, y'all. Give Zoe a hand. Yay, Zoe. So, yeah, anything you want to add? What would be your thing to say to any parent out there to help their children and to when they're stressed, what they can do as parents?
Well, if you're seeing your child is not acting normally, like when they're happy in their best mood, then I would ask them, hey, are you okay? Are you stressed? Or are you nervous about something? And if they would say yes, I would be like, do you need help or something? So yeah, I would take that advice.
Yeah, well, go ahead. I think that's a good idea. And sometimes, people may not even want it at the time. Like, and realize that it's okay to say, not right now, give me a moment by myself. Because sometimes we have to process certain things in our minds and then we're like, okay, now I'm ready to talk about it. You've ever had that happen before?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have before.
See there? Look at that. She's 13, but she's mature for 13 years old. Well, you have anything else you want to tell our folks today?
No.
That's it. Well, as always, I want to say thank y'all for listening in today with the interview with Zoe. And as I always end, if you haven't already, check out my website at www.talkswithshay.org. You can subscribe to my videos on YouTube and find me on Facebook. Like my page, share my page. Invite your friends to like my page. And until next time with Talks with Shay, Shay is out. Y'all be blessed.